Alright, so in this one, I want to go over who are the most underrated ZENKAIs. Now, ZENKAIs have been a thing for what? About 2 years almost? Namek Goku was what? Like mid-year? A year and a half? So maybe almost 2 years ago, right? They've been a thing for a decent while, and respectfully, you have to agree that they are meta, right? At least some of them, maybe not new ones nowadays, and the underrated ones are the ones that have come out more or less nowadays. So, to just go over it, the old ones are not underrated. They're the only ones you complain about. Let's say you go into PvP, you'll never complain about Red GT Goku is such a broken Zenkai. Blue Gohan's a broken Zenkai. You won't complain about these Zenkais being busted and broken, because they're not. They're newer Zenkais, and they know how to balance them out. And they've learned, okay, make these 1% units better than these Zenkais, and then we're chilling. And then they've done that, and then they've, prospered with it. And it's beautiful. I love to see it. But there's also good ones that are old and new that are both underrated. Now, I think some of them have a better niche in the future, and they'll see their, prominence, kind of like Kamikalo when you're up against Future or Android units, when Future or Android is a, prominent team. Kamikalo will be amazing. He goes type neutral, he does more damage to them, and he has high stats for it. Well, high enough stats to warrant his damage. He'll actually do very well. But some other units that I feel like are just good, and maybe are more meant for specific things, but don't really need it, do exist. To even go over, this Red GT Goku, I dogged on him a lot, and I don't know why. Maybe his initial thing with the Dragon Balls, because if you guys don't know, which it is really bad, right? It's not like this helps him, but he wants Dragon Balls to do more damage. If you guys don't know, Yellow Nova Shenron also wants 7 balls to do his most output of damage, and is that really good? Because when are you going to hold a rush? The only reason you'd ever hold a rush is because you're up against Endurance or Revival, and you have nothing to nullify your Endurance opponent, and you can't nullify Revival. So it's like, when are you ever holding a rush to get his max potential? And when it's at 6 balls, it's only strike damage. I know he is a strike-based unit, I understand that, but you don't have the worst blast stats. It's like a kick in the back when you see that. It's like, he could be so much better if it was just overall damage inflicted per the balls gained, which Nova, it's just strike damage inflicted, I believe, all the way up to 7 balls. And this guy does get overall damage inflicted for 15 counts at 7, but again, you're not holding the rush. But besides this, everything else about him is pretty good. 40% strike damage against androids, which, again, is not, something you're going to care about nowadays. You're up against hybrids. God Key, not really Sun Family, but Sun Family enough, and Saiyans, right? There's no androids on any of those teams. This doesn't really matter. I've found, from my experience with this guy, he just does too much damage, even with just strike arts alone, against a normal-ass team. And you'll never expect this guy to come into a match. Let's say I'm running him on strike-based GT, and I have Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and then some other units, just strike-based units, or even just regular GT. And I have this guy and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta as, my units on my team. Who are you expecting? Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta or this kid Goku? You're expecting Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and that's valid because he is very good. Let's say I try to run the strike-based variant, and I have kind of a mix in my team, and I bring Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku, and this guy, it's going to work perfectly. This kid can, hit hard. It's impressive. I'm pretty sure it's because of this. He gets the inflicts any attribute downgrade plus 10% damage to your 10 timer count. Now, this guy, you just want to click the cards quick. Kind of like Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku, you want to click the cards quick because he has that double card draw speed. His damage inflicted buffs only last 5 counts. This guy doesn't have that, short count stuff, but you kind of just want to get it in while you can, because if they're going to go type advantage to color counter you, if they do bring a blue, he won't do the craziest, but against neutral, I found this guy to hit really damn hard against, the top tier units. I'm talking, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Gohan, any top tier unit, this guy hits pretty goddamn hard. I'm not sure where it really comes from. I would assume it's just his stats and the debuffs he gives. Because think of it like this. 20% debuff on 2 cards, then 40% damage. Then let's say, for example, you have 4 to 6 balls, which is pretty normal, I'd say, after 2 combos, maybe even into a second combo. Well, that's 70%. Then you have the debuff, and that's 90%, which isn't terrible with stats of 274. I know it might not look the craziest, but with that, then he's lowering his card cost, and if you're going to charge step and stuff, and just get strikes, you could probably get an opponent to where they're like 50% debuffed, and you have, what, that's 130% damage received and damage inflicted buffs total for his strikes. That's honestly not bad. His blue card is unfortunate, though, being a dash forward, no blast armor, plus 25% to damage inflicted, 15 timer counts upon activation. You could gimmick it and kind of like, oh, okay, I'm going to pop this blue drop combo into a blue, but then this blue card is a long animation, so if you miss it, you can get rushed, but your opponent doesn't know that, and you can try to catch them afterwards. But it's not the greatest thing, right? Then his green card, plus 20% to strike damage inflicted, 20 timer counts, then gets card draw speed for 10 counts, and cancels own attribute downgrades. Very good, because if they, let's say, increase his card cost, well, he likes to have lower card cost anyway, so you pop this green card, get that shit out of there. Increasing card draw speed. Now, with him, it's tough, because you have so many better green cards, right? Super Saiyan 4 Goku increases card draw speed infinitely as well on his green card. Maju with the green card, that's a quick animation, but, well, it's a long animation, but it's hard to get out of. Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku with a better green card that is a quick animation and extremely hard to get out of. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta even has a better green card for canceling their buffs. I think that's a lot more valuable than card draw speed, in my opinion at least. Because if you cancel someone's buffs, how are they going to hurt you? They have no damage buffs, right? Unless they swap in and out. But you're not swapping in and out when you're mid-combo. You're not going to hit me when I'm comboing you, right? So I think he is pretty valuable, this guy, on a strike-based GT team, which really isn't hard to build. That Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I feel like a lot of people actually do own him. And if you don't, you can build a very good variant on just a Saiyan team. This guy runs there. And Sun Family, I know it's not strike-based, but you could just easily put this guy on, like, I don't even know, Revival Gohan, this guy, and Future Gohan. And that could work out pretty goddamn well for a strike-based Sun Family team. Just my opinion, though. I do value this guy a lot more. Now, I remember his initial showcase, I was shitting on him because I thought his damage did impress me, but then I'd have, like, one or two balls that's like, okay, well, while he does have that gimmick and it does suck and it's terrible, it's still not the worst thing in the world. Like, if I compare, like, Scouter Vegeta, who gets 45 to, like, 60% damage inflicted in his, like, premium situation, you know, what am I complaining about this Red GT Goku? You can't. You really can't. Another one that I feel like people should be using more, honestly, now, I know a lot of people probably don't have this guy, Zenkai 7, and I respect that because he's not worth the full investment, but if he comes to USTR, I'd say he's worth it easily. Every unit that comes to USTR is going to be worth getting. Even the Zenkai buff other units, right? Goku Black, maybe he's top 3 worst. You should get him to Zenkai buff other units. Scouter Vegeta, that's a really good Zenkai ability for Purple Saiyans. Given Super Saiyan 3 has the same thing, what if you want a double Zenkai buff? Boom! And you want to use Saiyans, because they Saiyan buff, even though he's a single buffer. But regardless, this cooler doesn't do anything particular, right? He is a disruptor. His stats are very much lower. Attacks are lower by 20, 30k from that Goku, and defenses are lower by 13k each. And he's a defense type, so right there, not a good start for him. But I found when I use him on one particular team, he doesn't look crazy, but he allows me to sustain. And sustain, I talk about it a lot. If you can just sustain well in this game, you really don't struggle. Like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Revival Goku, Angel Vegeta, that's a sustained team. Vados, Gogeta Blue, Revival Goku, that's a sustained team. I don't care if I get rushed 37 times. If they can't kill my Revival Goku, if they can't get my Super Saiyan 3 Goku out of there, they're not going to win. Even if they have the greatest units in the game. I have the sustain and the ability to just last longer. This cooler offers a very similar attribute. If you guys don't know, main ability restores ally health by 20%. You run this guy with Fat Boo, by the way. Fat Boo, this guy, DKP. Perfect sustain. And if you don't own Zamasu, I think this guy's a second option on a strike-based regen team. Like, easily. Again, not crazy damage, but the thing he offers is good. Cancels allies attribute downgrades have no conditions. Then 30% to damage inflicted for 40 timer counts. Z ability, basic, it's just blast defense, which is sucky, but it is what it is. Then he buffs red LOE. So, let's even think who he could Zenkai buff. No, nobody crazy, right? Red LOE is down in the dumps. They have red transforming Frieza, who I could see honestly getting a Zenkai. pretty soon. I know we just got an LF Zenkai for LOE, but I don't know. They know LOE needs the help, and the best way to do that is to Zenkai that red transforming Frieza, so you have a blue, purple, red setup, which is color, synergy with each other. Or they drop a new golden Frieza from Tournament of Power, since they've been going that route with like Topo, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, Golden Frieza, like beat Topo's ass behind, shooting him in the fucking back with the beams behind his ass, and made him go that while he was Golden Frieza. So it makes sense to the whole theme of Super Saiyan Blue and God Topo. But hey, what do I know? But besides that, there's not really any Zenkai unit or unit in general he's gonna buff that's gonna look crazy, right? There's unfortunately just not that case. It will be, but just not yet. I'm just gonna read all his stuff because I know you guys probably don't know anything he does. Unique ability and same. Metal Body applies buff effect, nullify abnormal condition up to 2 times to self when battle starts. So you guys don't know the buff effect stuff. LF Frieza has this now where he cancels buff effects. This guy applies one where he just can't be paralyzed, fainted. He can't do anything against them, which is very good, honestly, because there's a lot of units that have dumb gimmicks that don't really deserve it, like Purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He's probably going to be brought in a match against this guy because he's regen, right? Well, he can't be fainted. You swap into this guy, it's kind of like you're using Beerus. Can't be fainted. It's a good sign. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Restores own health by 5%. Again, sustain. 40% to damage inflicted or 20 timer counts, then 50% to own key recovery for 20 timer counts. It only destroys 1 enemy card. Not terrible. That's what? 40. That is 70% to his own damage inflicted within just 1 unique and a main, which you're going to use both of them, right? Analysis complete. The following effects occur every time an enemy uses strike or blast starts while this character is on the battlefield. Inflicts enemy attribute downgrade +3 to strike and blast starts cost for 15 timer counts, plus 10% on key recovery for 10 timer counts. I'm not sure the key recovery part because he doesn't get card draw speed. Again, he is a disruptor. You see it with the card cost increase. With some units, it's actually beneficial to them, like Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. He wants his card cost increase because, boom, he'll get below 35. Boom, he'll get below 35. Damage inflicted, damage inflicted, damage inflicted. It sucks, but I assume this guy was not made in mind to, be countered out by a yellow unit. Or even out to be, shown up by someone that has that weird unique, which Vegeta does have, but, who would have thought that would come into the game? I never thought of it. So, good on them for making something unique, though. Impenetrable Body. Reduce standard C by 30% until combo ends and changing cover, plus 20% damage inflicted 30 times when activated, or 30 timer counts. So what does he have? 20? He has 60. This guy has currently 90% damage inflicted. A little bit more than that Goku, because debuffs, right? Not against androids. Against androids, that Goku has like 140. But against normal units, these two have the same thing. Obviously, stat-wise, Goku is far superior in every single stat, actually. But this guy is not lacking too far behind. Then his last unique, Evolving Menace, applies flying effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. Plus 10% damage inflicted up to 30%. So that's 120%. And then 10% to special move damage inflicted up to 30%. So his special move can get up to 150, because these are all general damage inflicted buffs. So it's not like only strike, only blast, blah, 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 blah. No, this is 150 to his blue card, which you can't really, you can't knock that, honestly. You can't. 120 to his overall damage inflicted. Then we check his arts, which is normal. Then his blue card, it is a dash forward. Unfortunately, again, I know these units, these last two at least, had the trend of dash forward, no blast armor. You do land this, though, and this isn't some, nonchalant, gonna do no damage blue card. It's gonna hit. Deals massive explode damage to enemy key by 70 on a hit. Oh, he does have blast armor. Oh, never mind, he's chilling then. Oh, yeah, this guy's chilling then. Then his green card. Green card's nice. It looks nice, at least. Restores own key by 30 upon activation. Applies flying effects to enemy on a hit. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade 20% to damage received for 30 timer counts. So pair that with the 150 on his blue card, slash 120 on his overall. You pop this green into a blue. Genuinely, even with these stats, that will probably, if not kill, do 80% to any type neutral unit. And that's not something easy to do nowadays. Honestly, it's really not easy to do 80% on one arts. Well, 2 arts because you're comboing the green, but you don't even have to combo it because it's 30 counts, right? I don't know. I think it's pretty good. And it's comboable. Yeah, this guy, I think he's just slept on. I think he's a good sustain unit. on a regen team. And regen is all about sustain. Now, given you could run Revival Cell and be like, oh, well, fuck that. I agree. You can do that because Revival is just a better sustaining thing than Regeneration, because every team essentially is regen at this point. Like, Saiyans is regen with Angel Vegeta. God Key's regen with Vados. Revival Universe is regen with Vados. Like, you have a lot of regen already being built by other teams that aren't regen. But I do think that Red Metal Cooler is a good option. If you don't have a high stars Masu, or even a maxed out Revival Cell, because I do think Revival Cell is only good when he's maxed out. Anything below that, his stats just ain't it. It's kind of like Revival Goku to me. If he's not at least like 9 stars that Revival Goku, I don't feel the need to run him. If he's higher, then sure, but last man standing like Super Saiyan Blue Goku is always going to be more dominant and just feel like a god compared to Revival Goku, who's doing 30% in a full combo, when Super Saiyan Blue Zenkai 7 can do like 3 combos and honestly 1v3. Like, he can do that. Revival cannot. He's just good for his mechanic of surviving, which is what he's meant for, right? He does what he wants to do correctly. One more unit I want to go over here, and actually I want to talk about 1EX unit, but one more unit I want to go over that's sparking is Turles. I never see Turles run. Like, legitimately, it's kind of scary. Let me do him at full 14 stars for you guys here, because I don't have him there, because did not play enough when he dropped. I didn't even play at all, actually. But to look at his stats, Blast is similar to GT Goku, strike stat, so not bad. His strike is decent compared to other units that are, you know, not strike based. And then defense is a little bit in between Cooler and GT Goku, but again, not bad. Overall, just good stuff there. I wish he held 2 arts of Blast. I just don't know what they were doing with that. It's kind of like, I think Yellow Final Form Frieza holds 2 Blast and he's strike based. I don't know what they were doing with it. I don't even think they knew like what it meant when they implemented this type of thing into the game, like early on. And I guess they didn't change it with Zenkais, which is silly, but it is what it is. So Turles, he's all about his green cards, right? You want to eat some fruit, eat some fruit, eat some fruit, and genuinely, when he eats that fruit, Turles looks better than Zenkai 7 Purple Broly, and I like Zenkai 7 Purple Broly as like an underrated unit, but I've already like gone off about him. I do think this guy is more underrated. I think this guy's actually better than Zenkai 7 Purple Broly. Even with Super Saiyan buffs, this guy is better. Let's just go over him, right? Main ability, draw a green card, restores own key by 50, minus 15 to own blast starts cost for 60 timer counts. Only has to be 5 counts to activate that. That's very good because green card, green card, green card, green card. Remember that. Z ability is purple, right? Strike attack defense, which he's a blast based unit. He's giving strike attack. What are you going to do? Yeah, what are you going to do? Zenkai ability is pretty goddamn good because you're going to see a lot of powerful opponents, even now. He's Zenkai buffing Frieza, DKP. Those are the 2 best powerful opponents right now, right? You can't really... Like, Merge Zamasu's cool, but he's not, like, one of the best. So that's going to be a very good Zenkai buff for the future. If nothing else about him, his Zenkai ability is very good for the future and longevity of this game, because Zenkai buffing is still always going to be effective, right? Until they update it, which I doubt they will, because they wouldn't change something that's so drastic in such high percentages of 40 to 35. Unique ability, you are a disgrace to your people, plus 40% to blast damage inflicted against tag Sun family cannot be cancelled, 20% to strike damage inflicted against tag Saiyan. Now, the good part is the first part, right? 40%, he's a blast-based unit, Sun family. Good. I don't know why he's getting strike attack to Saiyans. He's a blast-based unit, once again. I think it's a little silly, but I do think getting any sort of uncancelable thing is always good, and having this, you know, uncancelable against even Saiyans, you know, because one of the biggest tags in the game, that will always be the biggest tag in the game, is going to be a benefit. It's just, I wish it was overall damage inflicted for both, and it was just, okay, 40 to Sun family, 20 to Saiyan, overall damage, not just strike or blast, but they had to nerf him a little bit, because if they didn't nerf him, he would be better than Revival Gohan, and if you want a meta where someone is better than Revival Gohan, you are looking for the wrong game, because it is hybrid only out here. But to go over more, his other unique, Powerful Invader, applies one effects to self and battle start, 60 timer counts, reduce damage received by 30%, cannot be cancelled, not bad, right? For 60 counts, cannot be cancelled, and he has minus 15 card cost when he pops his main. for 60 counts on both. That's a pretty long time. Then he gets card draw speed, cannot be canceled for 60 counts. So yes, he's an early gamer. I agree. But his green cards kind of help that and fix that, in my opinion. His other unique, Space Wandering Warrior, applies flying effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. Randomly draws one new card when you have 3 or fewer cards, and 50% damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Now, just understand this. This unique of Sun Family or Saiyan, that's going to be 90% of your matches. He's going to get at least 30% and or 50%, if not 70% from the damage inflicted here. Well, 75%. Because this damage inflicted here, and you're going to go up against a Sun Family or Saiyan. It's just inevitable. Goku, the main protagonist, is going to be in most of your games. Vegeta, Saiyan, will be in most of your games. It's just how it works. And fusion units in this game are considered Saiyans, so they'll be in some of your games. You're always going to go up against this, so just assume you'll either have a... Honestly, assume you have the 40%, because you'll see more Sun Family-based units than, like, just overall Saiyans. In most metas, just always assume you have this 40% just active, because 90% of the game, you're running into, you know, Sun Family units. So, right there, he's getting 55% to his blast damage, right? Again, his uniques do not look crazy, but his green card is what makes everything tied together. The Fearsome Tree of Might applies flying effect self according to the number of times the green card, Fruit of the Tree of Might, has been used when this character uses special arts. So if you use 1 to 3 times, you get damage inflicted, 15% cannot be cancelled. Okay, so that's 70% to Sun Family units on blast. Then 4 times, he restores ki by 30. This is like forever, right? He always gets this. So all his buffs are uncancelable, except for this one, which he comes in, so he's not going to lose this buff when he comes in, right? Unless you're not comboing him in, which you should be because he draws a card, which it wouldn't make sense if you combo him in. But to look at his green card, right, because this is the main ticket. Restores own health by 10% and plus 20% damage inflicted 20 timer counts. Okay. One of the 4 following effects also occur randomly. Draw a special arts card next. That's good, because you could just keep going with this, and it's a low cost, 11. 20% to blast damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. 20% to own key recovery, 20 timer counts. 50% to own vanish gauge recovery for 10 timer counts. So think of it like this. You draw 3 greens. Okay, that's 60% to your blast damage. Then he has, what, 75, 85% to blast damage against, well, total blast damage against Sun Family. He gets about 150%. The 150%, that's higher than Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was an anniversary headliner. This is a purple Turles that was, what, a free Zenkai 2? Who can get more damage inflicted than a anniversary headliner unit? Now given, no, he's not a defense type. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is also not a defense type in his true nature because he has that, what, 60 or 80% cut one time, and even, like, if he blast armors, it's gone. I'm just saying, this Turles honestly has a lot more value than I feel like is being shown out by anybody. Like, I see a lot of people run, well, more people run Broly on a movies team, the Pearl Broly, than this Turles. And maybe it's Z ability because that guy is giving double attack, but this Turles on like a powerful opponent, LF Rose, I just thought of it. He can Zenkai buff LF Rose on like a powerful opponent team in the future when it has like a true support, like a purple red powerful opponent team or something, or blue purple, like Kid Buu, LF Rose, the support unit for the team. Or you could run like, you could bullshit it and run like Android 21 if you really want, but you know, it's, you try your best what you got. But in the future, his Zenkai ability is going to be one of the most powerful things in the game. His itself isn't really bad. It's just he takes a little bit, but those green cards, you get them. Like, I don't know what unique it is here. Like, he gets green cards pretty goddamn quickly. Yeah, he just, I guess with this, it's not something he like innately just will draw a green card besides his main, but with his green having a chance to draw green and then you're destroying one card, or drawing a new card rather when you're coming in, you always have a better chance than any other unit. Because even with card draw speed and that randomly draws one new card, you have a good chance to farm up to a green card and even potentially farm a rush off of that. I don't know. I think this Turles has pretty good value for what he is. And if nothing else, his Zenkai ability will be pretty goddamn timeless. And to go over one more unit, because I've seen, not slander, but comparisons to the Green Movie Trunks, I do think this EX Ultra Gohan is the second best EX Zenkai in the game. I do think with the new, LF Frieza Zenkai, the EX Blue Frieza is better. But this Gohan, he can get card draw speed infinitely because, every single time he's tapped or hit, he gets card draw speed. He can get cover, given he does up sub count. I don't know. I think this future Gohan's pretty good. He could get decent damage. And if nothing else, his main here, it's a team heal, right? Like, you can't really complain about a team heal. And his green card, I believe, also heals as well. Yeah, restores on health by 10%. I don't know. I think this guy's pretty valuable. I've seen people slander him, but I do think he's better than the green movie Trunks, like, for sure. If you guys have him, and you don't really need to run a green on hybrids, but if you really want to, that's like your main unit. That green movie Trunks, firstly, he's strike based, and LF FSK Gohan is blast based. This future Gohan, though he doesn't buff the Z abilities for the team, he is blast based, so he flows better, and green flows well with red, right? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys think I am wrong, correct, and how do you guys like the 1 p.m. video of the collab? Virgil's probably uploading. The tier list probably already went up that we did, and then he's probably going to upload the second part of that with the less corrupted version, because mine got corrupted, of his PvP part, where, we'll see who wins the matches. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video about the underrated units, and do you guys agree or disagree? Let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one.